Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePoe here with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Hey, today's topic, so you're preparing to sell your house. What should you do? Okay. So before I kind of get into that, I wanted to kind of talk about the market briefly and the economic situation we're in right now. So I said this while frankly, I've been saying this since July. Okay. But I also said this in my vlog last week. And that is, here's a couple of facts for you. Mortgage rates have decreased 8 out of the last 11 presidential elections. Let me say that one more time. Mortgage rates have decreased 8 out of the last 11 times leading up to a presidential election. Okay. Second factoid is that home sales went up, or home prices went up 9 of the last 11 times. Let me say that again. Home prices went up 9 out of the last 11 presidential elections. Okay. So the Fed just lowered the rate 50 basis points like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Okay. The presidential election is like in 2 weeks. Okay. So we're in a perfect situation right now to list your house now, because people should be starting to look. And if they're not looking right now, they're just not interested in buying a house. Okay. They should be looking right now, and your house on the market right now is going to get a lot of eyeballs, okay, which could potentially drive up the price of your house. At the same time, you as the person selling your house want to now start to look for a home before those prices start going up. Okay. That's it. That's the end of my lecture. Okay. Now's the time to do it. If you're thinking about, or you want to be in the real estate market, buying and selling, now's the time to do it. Okay. It's better now than it's been any time in the last 4 years. Okay. Now's the time to do it. End of story, end of lecture. Let's get on to this. So you're ready. You're thinking about selling your house. What should you be doing? So first of all, unfortunately, right now it's a business decision. You've decided to sell your house. It's a business decision, and what you have to kind of get in your head a little bit is your home is no longer yours. Okay. Sounds kind of weird and stuff, but your agent is going to ask you, your selling agent is going to ask you to do certain things to the house. You have to have an eyeball on the house, on the money, on making it attractive. And so one of those things is you're going to have to remove personal items like family photos, maybe religious things that you may have in the house, excessive furniture. Okay. A buyer needs to walk in and imagine living in your home. Okay. And if you have and I hate to say it because, my grandparents had it, a big picture of the Last Supper. Okay. You're going to have to remove that. Sorry. Okay. Save it, put it in storage, put it in a closet, wrap it up, save that for your next home. Okay. Because, people may not be, in that example, may not be your religion, may not have your faith, et cetera, and we don't want to like just turn them off. Okay. So what we have to do is depersonalize the house. Okay. And what we kind of refer to as declutter. So you're going to remove some of that furniture, you're going to remove the personal items, and you're going to make the house sort of a blank canvas, you may want to call it, so that somebody coming in can say, hey, I can imagine our master bedroom set in here, as opposed to, this big thing with tchotchkes on it and, all kinds of stuff. Okay. So again, depersonalize it. Second, you need to have a spotless home. Okay. Which means it needs to be clean 24/7. Okay. Now, if you have an agent helping you out, that's the shortest time to sell, instead of, for example, trying to sell it on your own. We got stats, all over the place to kind of help you, with that. However, what I'm trying to say is, you need a spotless home until you sell it, right? You have to pay extra attention to kitchens and bathrooms and high traffic areas, clean windows. If you have pets, or smokers in the house, you may have some lingering odors. Let's make sure we kind of take care of that. Second, first impressions are very important. So what does that mean? That means the curb appeal of the house. Okay. And so we want the lawn mowed. We want the bushes and shrubs trimmed. Fresh coat of paint maybe on the front door. We want the lighting on the outside to be repaired or fixed, or a lot of people have these carriage lights, on the walkway, right? And so let's make sure that they're straight and they're lined and they're aligned, and the bulbs work and those kinds of things. Because what we don't want is, we don't want people to make excuses. Okay, we don't want people to say, there was a time back. I'm thinking it was like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, when I forget the guy's name, but he was the president and CEO of Southwest Airlines. Okay. And he used to take these incognito trips. He'd get on a plane and he'd go someplace because he wanted to see how everybody operated together and how the planes were. And there was this theory that he had, that if at the time you could smoke on a plane, and this theory that he had was that if the ashtray is dirty, that then translates to the flyer that the engines need maintenance. Okay. Unlikely that it's true, but if a dirty ashtray can lead somebody to think that maybe they don't do maintenance and the engines are in disrepair, then if you have a light out in your house, or you have a dead bush in the front or something along those lines, then if that's visible, then what else is a problem? Is the air conditioning system going to blow up the day that I move into the house? Are there leaks in the roof, etc.? Okay, people do this extension, and so we want the curb appeal to look great. We want fresh flowers up there. We want the hedges trimmed, the lawn mowed, etc., etc. Before we go any further, hey, I got an offer for you. If you go to youtube.com/@moving to Dallas, Texas, and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll be the first one to know when we get updated content, when we get the new videos, we get new vlogs, we get walkthroughs of houses that we have listed, etc. It'll benefit you because you'll be basically the first one in your block and the first one in your community that knows about these things. And it also will help us, because we'll move further up the food chain in terms of YouTube. So hey, we thank you for doing that, and we appreciate your attention and your efforts. Okay, next, fix any noticeable issues. So if you've got a leaky faucet, a loose doorknob, chipped paint, again, these are all small things that people are going to look at and say, well, if they couldn't bother fixing this leaky faucet, then maybe they never bothered maintaining the hot water heater. And again, that's going to, it's held together by duct tape and spit. And so it's going to start leaking, it's going to blow up or start leaking or bust a seal as soon as we move into the house. Okay. Don't want that. So take care of these little maintenance items. Hey, if you're of the nature to do it yourself, great, do it, get it out of the way. If you're not, hey, ask your neighbors for the number for the local handyman. If you need a number for a local handyman, give me a call. I can help you out. But the point is, you really want to make sure that these things are taken care of or are maintained, so that people don't have a reason, to give you like a black mark on the checklist, where they can walk in and say, once they go home, they can say, we saw these 3 houses and this one was immaculate, and there was no paint chips, and there was no leaky faucets, and there was no this, that, or the other thing. And it's in our price range and it's in a good neighborhood. Let's buy it. Okay. And then you get offers, or you get an offer or multiple offers. Hey, make sure the house smells fresh. So candles help with that. If you have again, if you have pets, we got pets, so we understand the kind of the pet smell. But if you have pets or you have a smoker in the house or something along those lines, let's get some freshness in there. Let's open a few windows maybe and get some fresh air in there. Let's burn like a cinnamon type candles, okay? There was always the idea about, hey, let's bake some cookies before showings. If you got a really desirable house, you're going to be baking a lot of cookies. I'm not sure that that's going to be economically feasible for you. But let's make sure that there's some pleasant scents in the house, maybe some flowers, or those types of things. Flowers don't really work for me because I've got allergies, so I'm not sure what to do there. But plug in air fresheners and stuff to keep the house. Hey, the holidays are coming up. So like a peppermint or evergreen or those types of scents would be excellent, and then make sure that we have fresh linens around, on the beds and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, like I said at the beginning, this is now a business decision, right? And so you have to make sure that everything is well maintained 24/7, because you don't know when somebody's going to call to say, hey, it's noon, I want to show your house at 2:30, okay? And you don't want to go rushing around, throwing stuff in a bag or making the bed, or picking up the newspapers or something. Like, people still read newspapers, picking up the papers and stuff like that, okay? So it has to be maintained 24/7, and the idea of fresh smells in there with some of these electronic air fresheners and stuff would be great. Hey, you have to sort of stage your home, if you will, and arrange the furniture to make it look open. Hey, when we sold our house on Flower Mound, I mean, I think I took our two real comfy chairs out of the family room area to make it look larger, okay? And I hated that because those were our main chairs. Those were our comfy chairs, and so I took them out, threw them in a storage unit, and waited until the house sold. Luckily it took 3 days to sell, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so add some simple touches, stage the house that would make it look like appealing to you, okay? So maybe a book of the places to visit in North Texas, fresh cut flowers, a centerpiece. Avoid over decorating, okay? But do simple things to make it look homey and make it look like, yeah, this is the place I'd like to live, okay? So that'll help you, sell your house quicker. It might be a little inconvenience for a month or so, but it will help you sell your house quicker, so that you can then go on to your next stage in life, or your next home, okay? Again, I said this a number of times. You got to keep your house in show-ready condition at all times, which means making the bed, putting away clutter, tidying things up, vacuum regularly. Make sure there's no footprints in the in the carpets, right? So what you want to do is when somebody calls you for a last second showing, you're ready to go. Bam, you can just walk out the house. You can throw your little Shih Tzu under your arm or in their bag, in their travel container, throw it in, put it in the car, and then take off, and you don't have to worry about the house because you've maintained it 24/7, in perfect showroom condition, and you don't have to go through a lot of extra cleaning up. So I hope that was helpful. Like I said, it's that time to go. If you're serious, you've been thinking about it for a couple of years. Maybe you bought your home during COVID and you weren't happy with your purchase, and now you want to buy something else and you want to move on. Now's the time to do it. Okay. All indicators for the financial future, interest rates, etc., especially here in North Texas, are all pointing to go. It's all a green light, and so take advantage of it. Don't in 18 months say, geez, I wish I had done that. Don't be one of those. So I hope that was helpful. Hey, we're going to kind of build on this a little bit next week and talk about, should you do repairs to your house before you sell it? Always a big question for us when we list a house. And now we're going to give you some answers. Hey, this is Steve. I am with the Rose Realty team. So long.